students, welcome again. I am your SST teacher Maya Gurani. So let's continue our previous topic, that is the Indian Constitution, the key features of Indian Constitution. First we will discuss what we have studied in our previous video, that is the constituent rule. The constituent rules are very important as we can differentiate one game from another, or one society from another, or one country from another. Then we discussed about the constitution. Constitution is the written document in which we find such rules is called constitution. Then we discussed about the democracy and constitution, that today we see that most of the country have a democracy and a constitution as well, but the democracy is likely to have the constitution, but it is not that necessary that the country that have a constitution are democracy. Then we discuss about the Nepal, that the Nepal changes from the monarchy to democracy. Then we discuss about that where we don't have the constitution and have a democracy, there how the people and how the leaders are misusing their power and the authority. And if we conclude all this, then we can say constitution guarantees the right to equality to all of its persons, irrespective of the caste, religion, gender, or any other. Then we discussed about the Indian Constitution, where our great leaders, they fought for the freedom from the British rule, as there was the rule of British and we were supposed to follow their rule. And then it is a great effort, or we can say that the great Indian devoted their great time in planning or imagining about the democracy where the all people are treated equally. Then it is not about the one person, it is all of the 300 people who has given their time to complete the constitution. Okay, and this is called the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly is also called a body of leaders. They had a huge task of framing the constitution of the country, and as these people have a great task of framing the constitution of the country. As we were saying that it took 3 years, if we talk about the precise time, so we can say that it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to complete the constitution, and this constitution was drafted by the B.R. Ambedkar. Bhimrao Ambedkar is also known as the father of constitution, and we can say that Indian constitution was enforced in 26 January 1950. While framing the constitution, they had many challenges. They faced many challenges like so all of these issues played on the mind of the member of the assembly when they were drafting the constitution. Working on these challenges like diversity and the princely state, Constituent Assembly gave a visionary document that reflects the respect for maintaining unity and preserving national unity. When they were drafting the constitution in their mind, they also thought about the respect for maintaining unity. There they maintained the unity of the people, where the people of India are in in a diversity and preserving national unity as the people they are Indian as well. And also they also had a concern for eradicating poverty, means to remove the poverty from India through the socio-economic reforms, means the some changes through the people can develop and get their livelihood in the India itself.
The key features of Indian Constitution: federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of powers, fundamental rights, or secularism.
Now let's discuss the key features of Indian Constitution. The first key features of Indian Constitution, that is the federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is the existence of more than one government in the Indian Constitution. That is, the first is central government, second is state government, and third is local government. Now let's see how the power has divided between these three government.
Center government, union list. Center government has the power to make laws. Union list includes subjects of national importance such as defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs, communication. The main subjects of the state list are police, trade, agriculture, irrigation. Both the central and the state governments can make laws in the concurrent list. These includes education, forest, trade, marriage, adoption, and succession.
So we can say that it is a division of subject between the central, state and local. And if we are talking about the federalism, that in structure wise it is federal, but if we talk about the spirit wise, it is unitary. Now we will understand that why there is a need of federalism in Indian Constitution. Why there is a need of federalism? The need of federalism is India is a country where we have a vast number of communities, means here we have a diversity. People are from different language, caste, and they practice the different religion. Alright, so then how can a single person or a level of government can govern all of these communities? It is not feasible for one level of government to govern all of these communities. So it is required to divide the power. Then it is important to have another level of government. So it is important to have another level of government to govern all of these communities. So we can say that there should be a system of a government where all the states should have their power with them, so that they would not be dependent on the center of the government, that is New Delhi, and they will be taking the decision of their own without disturbing of other states and other center. What is the role of the federalism in India? Each state in India enjoys autonomy in exercising power on certain issues. It means that each state have a right to take any of the decision for their welfare, okay, and they enjoy the autonomy to govern or to take control of the current issues. Alright, they follow the laws of the central government. At the same time, they are supposed to follow the laws of the central government, as the laws are directed by the central government to exercise the authority powers in a proper way. The constitution contains detailed lists that each tier of government can make law. As the constitution has contained the list, it is the list that is divided between the central government, state government or the local government. It is the detailed list of the that each tier of government can make law. The constitution that has a list of the subject, it is in detail like the union list, state list and the concurrent list. In this list, the subjects are in a very detail, and each tier of government can make law. It means that each level of government like central government, state government and local government, these government can make law that comes in their authority. It also specifies the source of money of each of the tier, and it is also specified in these lists that who will create the law on which issue and to run their economy will, because it is very important to run their economy, and it is the money that comes from the subject that the authority that the states have. Under federalism, the states are not merely agents, as we are saying so that the union government that direct the state government and to exercise their power and the authority, but it is also there that the states are not merely agents under the federalism and under of the union government, but they are free to take their decisions. Alright, so we can say that after reading these points, we can say that the federalism in India is very important, as it is specifies the distribution of legislative, administrative and exclusive powers between union government and state government. As we are talking today about the federalism, as it is accepted in our constitution, the division of power between the tiers. But however, before the independence of India, our freedom fighters, the leaders, they know about the India, that India is a vast country, so it is required to divide the power between the province and the union government. Indian constitution has created the strong union government even after having the diversity in India and the social problem that the India is facing. We have a unique identity. Now we will understand the parliamentary form of government. We have discussed our first key feature, that is of federalism. Now we are discussing our second key feature, that is the parliamentary form of government in Indian Constitution. What do you understand by the heading? This a form of government based on the parliament. What do you understand by this heading? That a form of government based on the parliament means it is based on the elected representatives. Okay? What do you mean by the elected representative? That is, the Constitution of India guarantees surface. It means the Constitution of India guarantees all the people that right to equality. Okay, as the universal adult franchise says that all people are equal irrespective of their caste, religion, their creed, their social and economic background. They all have one vote. Okay, where people of India directly elected their representatives. So the people of India, they are free to elect their representatives from their own. As we are saying that the people of India, they have a equal right to vote. All have equal vote, from President of India to the Kanta, that is the social worker, as we have studied this in our 7th class, that we all have a right to vote and to elect our representative in the parliament. And at the same time, they can contest in election also. As we are electing our representatives by one vote, as well as we have the power and a man have a power, any man can contest in the election or ask for the vote. Anyone can become the leader of our country and can become a PM of our country. Under parliamentary form of government, people elect their representatives, means people have a right to elect their representatives. But in our past, when there was the rule of a king and all the power was rested in the hand of the king, so there was no role of people and their welfare. Okay, but in the parliamentary form of government, people have a right to choose their representative so that the representative can exercise their duty to for the welfare of the society and for the welfare of the country. And these representatives are accountable to the people. This line is very important, that these representatives are accountable to the people, as we are electing our representative for the welfare of our needs or for the welfare of the society, that where there is a poverty and the people are illiterate and everywhere there is the people, they are following the ill treatment and the discrimination. So we are electing these representatives to abolish such things from our society, and these people are accountable for us, and we can complain to this representative that this thing is not going on in a proper way and this thing should be go in a proper way. In this line, we understood that the parliamentary form of government is very much required in the Constitution of India, of any of the constitution, because it gives a right to each and equal citizen to choose their representative to run a country or an organized manner.
That's all for the video. In our next video, we will discuss about the third part of this chapter. Till then, stay smart, stay safe, stay open.